Hey y'all, this is Philly the Learn to Grow guy. Today we're going to work on part 2 of the new way of looking at electroculture. Now, if you remember in the past, what I've done is I've used a bunch of these here, the coils that you make, and you stick them to the south side of the plant and stuff like that. Part of it sticking into the ground, and the other part being extended into the going up to the sky like an antenna. I've used those, and I did not get the results I was looking for. So the goal was to try to come up with something different. And what I did come up with is the concept of making a battery out of a potato. If you remember that from grammar school or high school, you can make a battery out of a potato simply by sticking a penny on one end of the potato and then using a zinc coated washer and stick it on the other side. And if you put an LED in between them, and the LED would actually light up. It is from the chemical reaction that happens within the potato. That's where the zinc coated wire or the washer actually surrenders electrons and stuff like that, and you have the whole chemical reaction that happens within the potato, and thus creating a battery. Okay. Now with electroculture, the whole concept is to get a current flow going from the sky, capturing electricity from the sky, and that is a factual thing. You can actually capture electricity on a bare wire if you stretch it out for long, for long distances. It has, I mean, it can be within 50 feet, 100 feet, whatever the distance is. If you don't believe me, you can talk with anybody who has worked on putting up wiring. Who works for the electric companies. Okay, you can talk with any of those guys. They'll all confirm that if you have a wire sticking out, that you will get a charge on it. Okay, so it's the same concept that electroculture is built on. Now, the failures that I believe that I've had with electroculture, as I stated in the previous video, is that I believe that the wires I had around the plants, sticking up and such, they were not long enough. All right, so with that said, I'm going to take you back to the bed where I first started and such. I'll show you. I'll show you what I'm going to be doing there. Okay. If you remember last time, I left a lot of the wires incompleted so that I can do this part too. Okay. So here's the tools you're going to need for this. You're going to need some of that galvanized wire. This is a zinc coated wire, and the other thing you're going to need is copper wire. Okay, all these are some of the coils that I've used around trees and plants and such. Okay, those are the main two things you'll have a need for. And again, if you're going to be looking for the basics as to how you put them into the ground, you can go back to the first video. Now, as far as tools are concerned, what you're going to need is a wire stripper. Okay, the other thing you're going to need is some thin copper wire to finish off this project. Remember, the other parts are already in the ground. The galvanized as well as the copper is already in the ground. Okay, I'm going to show you around and show you what we're looking at. And again, if you remember, this is the bed that we ran the copper wire in, and the galvanized. The copper is on this side, the galvanized is on that side. Now, I dug out a little bit here to show you. This here's the galvanized wire, okay? And on this side, if we dig a little bit, we should find the copper wire that's over here. Here it is. Okay, that's the copper wire. Nice wormy. Okay, now what we're going to do is connect here to there. We're going to use a piece of wire that I left in the back of the truck. Ta-da! Copper wire. You're gonna want to strip both ends. Okay, this end is stripped. I don't know if yeah, you can see that, and so is the other end. Okay, they're both stripped. All right. The key thing is to wrap the wire around, wrap it around the best that you can. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this as a one-arm bandit, so it may not be all. It's not all that easy trying to do it as a one-arm bandit. I can tell you that now. Okay. And remember, the key way for this process to actually work is that you got to make sure that your ground, where you're going to have this stuff at, is moist. Okay, the ground, this soil here is moist. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this is moist. Okay, it's light brown. Okay, it has lots of moisture. And the key thing is that you got to make sure that this is buried It's in the ground. Keep it covered. All right. See, unlike my hands are not exactly moist. They're actually ashy. so, so anyway, the key thing is to leave this covered, and the soil has to be moist. Now, one of the things you can do to make sure that the soil remains moist is to cover things up with leaves. You got to have, if you put a mulch around the wire, over the wire, over the soil, everything should function appropriately. Now I got to get to the other side. Okay, and the thing is that you got to do the same thing with this side here, okay? And which is to, again, wrap the wire around the galvanized wire, okay? If you can keep them. Now, basically what I've done is I shorted this out. So, and again, the key thing is that make sure that this is buried under soil. Okay, it has to be buried, you guys. I cannot emphasize that enough, because the same way that the potato has plenty of liquids in it, therefore, so that the chemical reaction can actually happen properly and naturally, you got to have the same thing here. Okay, if it's not properly covered, if it's not covered, you're going to have a problem. Okay, so again, to preserve moisture, you want to go ahead and make sure you have compost over your wire. Now, can this stay exposed on top of the ground? Yes, it can. If you want to bury it, you can too, but nonetheless, it's insulated. Okay, so whether I put it underground or not, I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference. Okay, go away, bug. Okay, all right, I'm going to take you to another spot that I've done already. This is an Asian pear tree, and look at here, y'all. Look at here. See that? See that? Now the key thing is I gotta see that. One seems to be doing okay. I don't know about that brown spot on it. This one seems to not have made it. This one didn't make it. But nonetheless, there are fruit on this Asian pear tree, and I love me some Asian pears. Yep. So anyway, down below, I've already done this one. Okay, as you can see, what I've done is that I've wrapped the wire around. Okay, wrapped it around the copper wire. And if you follow this, you'll see that I've done the same thing with the zinc coated wire. This is above ground, and that is completely okay. All right, it's okay. I, again, don't have to bury the wire. Now I'm going to show you another piece, okay? This is the other Asian pear. I don't know how these are doing. Oh, there we go. There's one. You see it? See them? Oh yeah, this one seems to have a lot of them. Yeah, buddy. Like I said, the key thing is to protect them from those squirrels, because last year they ate everything off of this tree, and the year before that, oh man, look at this. Yes. I don't want to get too excited here, okay? But anyway, to continue on, I'm going to show you what I have done over here at this what's this, a pineapple pear. Okay, yep, pineapple pear. Yep. I don't know if you can see all that or not. I think I need to get something stronger that I can make a greater imprint on those. But look at this one. You see that? This is the north end. See that? I just, since I had plenty of wire, I went on and merged the two wires together. The reason why why I have so much wire up top is because I could not push this one deep enough into the ground on both sides, okay? Both the north and the south side. And so I had enough wire, so I just twisted them together like here. All right, so the whole mission here is to actually get your stuff spread out, get your stuff out there so that it creates that current. Now, excuse me. Remember, part of the whole concept of electroculture is that it's supposed to help your plants to become healthier. It's supposed to help them to be more prolific as far as their production is concerned. Now, I'm looking at these trees here. These trees, the only way that they would produce more fruit than what they are now is if it's going to be next season when they produce more, okay? The goal, the desire is that if this can get the trees to be healthier and they even produce more next year, that's even going to be great as far as I'm concerned. Now, that pear tree that I showed you back here, most of the flowers on here did not survive that freeze that we had, okay? As you can see, a lot of them died. I think I remember seeing maybe one or two pieces of fruit on here that I believe this that survived the freeze that we received, okay, not too long ago. So I'm happy as to where I may at least get one or two pieces of fruit. But again, for me, it goes back to protecting everything from squirrels, okay? That did not protect it from the cold. That's not designed for that. What it's designed for is to help the tree be more productive, help the trees, the plants that you produce, that you're planting, to be more prolific in their production. And that's the whole purpose of that, okay? And also, it's supposed to make your plants strong enough so that you have less pest pressure. Now, I cannot guarantee you, I cannot tell you that it's going to work with, what is that? With squirrels, with rabbits, with whatever. But from my understanding, the way electroculture works, if the plants are healthier, it's going to keep the regular pests away. And so I've got to try to do that with some of the other plants I'm going to be planting. To see if that actually happens. Okay, in that long bed over here, this long bed over here, I'm going to be. Oh, this is what's that thing called? Brussels sprouts. It survived the winter, so I've got it continuing to grow here. As it's just going to produce flowers this year and go to seed, but nonetheless, I got it from the Savior's Garden on the other side over there, where I've got strawberries growing at this time. But nonetheless, the rest, all of this here is going to be sweet potatoes. So goal was to go all the way with sweet potatoes. However, I was given certain types of potatoes that you guys can look up. Okay, this one is Gogu Valley. That's Gogu Valley. It's a potato. Look up Bora Valley, Bora Valley. This is a red Amorosa. Okay, it's red on the outside as well as red on the inside. And this one is a smiling eye potato. I was given a few of them, and so that's why I have them in this small area here. And I'm hoping to see what happens with them. I'm hoping that they grow effectively. But nonetheless, the rest of this is going to be sweet potatoes, and I want to see what kind of production I'm actually going to get. Now, as I stated before, I do not have a control bed to plant the same stuff and see if I've got the same thing. On this other bed behind me here, this one here, I'm going to put okra, like I've been doing for the past 3 years, because I love me some okra, y'all. I'm sorry, I just love me some okra. Okay, so that's what's going to be going on there. But nonetheless, like I said, I don't have a control bed to tell you to do a proper comparison. Maybe I will establish one down the line, and maybe that could be part 3. We can see what happens. But if I do part 3, since I don't do a video, since I don't do editing, what may end up happening is that I'll do a part 3 as to where I show you what I'm planting, and then towards the end of the year, that'll be part 4 where I do the harvesting. Let me know if you think I should do that, okay? Let me know if you think I should do that. And yeah, okay? Maybe we can plant something in buckets and see how one does with the battery system that we're just talking about here. New way of looking at electroculture. And we'll do another, but we can do a second bucket without, and we can see which one's actually more productive and which one's actually healthier at the end of the growing season. All right, okay, well, y'all, that's all I've got for you. And this time I'm going to continue making the connections between the south and the north. Here's something else you guys can do, okay? If you guys decide to follow this experiment and try to do it, the way I have things set up is that I've got the zinc on the north side, because the zinc is actually the negative side, okay? You know that it's actually the negative side of the battery. Say, man, somebody stole your battery. It was from Eddie Murphy back in the 1980s or 19 whatever years that was. So, if you want, since with the magnetic field around the Earth, the field goes from the south to the north, up to the North Pole. If you flip them and reverse it, it's possible that you may get some different results from what I may get, because that would mean that, again, that would be if you put the zinc to the south and the copper to the north. That could mean that you're working more so with the Earth's magnetic field, and in so doing, you may get more productive. You may get more current flow or something. I don't know. I'm just theorizing off the top of my head here, okay? But that's something that some of you guys can try, and maybe I can even try that with 3 buckets. 1 bucket, yeah, huh? Okay, so with the buckets, one bucket could have the coils to the, sorry, not the coils, can have the copper wire to the north and the zinc wire to the south. Another one can have it vice versa. And the third one can be the control. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. All right. Okay, so anyway, if you guys have any comments, please leave the comments. If you guys like what I'm talking about, please share with somebody. I'd like this to get a lot of views because a lot of people have negative concept or negative views on electroculture, and I'd like to try to see. I'm hoping that things will be different, but only the results will let us know what's actually going on. So we just have to wait and see. Okay. So again, look for the experiment with the control batch pertaining to this. Look for it down the line. Again, it's going to be a video as to where we plant 3 buckets, one control, one with the zinc to the north and the other with the zinc to the south. All right, y'all. Like, subscribe, and share. And please leave comments if you have anything to say. Okay. Oh, that was a brother who made a comment saying that I need to be trying to keep my hands, how you say, put my hands in the soil with this. Brother, I did appreciate your comment. I just want you to know that. And that's why, as you can see, I'm working here, with with bare hands and no gloves this time. Okay, I'm getting my hands into the soil like you suggested. Okay. Again, I appreciate your comment. And anybody else who have good comments, please put them out there. And again, this is about learning to grow. Okay, this is the learn to grow guy. And if we're not learning, we're not growing. And the best way to actually grow is actually to apply what we're learning. Okay. How they said, knowledge is power. Yeah, knowledge is power, but in one condition, though. That is if you put it to use. If you don't put it to use, you have nothing. Okay. Y'all take care. This has run long enough.